Hello, folks. Welcome to Stay Well with Dr. Zorba Pastor.
That's me.
I'm Karl Christensen, and I'm sitting across the desk from the one and only Dr. Zorba Pastor, family doc, father of four, former NPR radio host. He's also wearing...
You've got it.
I'm always like, talking about what you're wearing.
Come on.
He's wearing a Rio de Janeiro
but
Brazil
let me tell you
shirt.
something. It makes me feel good, look good, feel good, play good.
Heard you say that.
What's up today, Karl?
What is up today? We're going to take a listener voicemail. We're going to talk about seasonal affective disorder, which is always important around this time. Zorba's going to debunk some medical quackery, and he's going to give us one of his favorite tips for entertaining guests at his house.
The tip is dynamite.
We're also going to go behind the curtain and talk about why immunizations cost so much in the doctor's office. The phone number to call if you have a healthy living question for the good doc is 608-492-9292.
That's 608-492-9292. And remember, go to our website, drzorba.org. That's Dr. Zorba. I'm sure you can spell
it out.
.org.
That's great. And that phone number, you can call that anytime and you can leave us a voicemail. We might use it on the show.
We love it.
We might even call you back and talk to you on the podcast.
You bet. That's exactly right, Karl.
Let's go to one of those voicemails now. This is a listener from Knoxville, Tennessee.
I really have a comment. I'll be 63 in a couple of weeks. Well, about a year ago, I had noticed that I was starting to walk in the room and forget why I went in there. Well, then I got a bag of that mushroom coffee that's online. And now I don't walk into a room and forget why I went in there. Even if I do a bunch of other stuff before I walk out, I get what I went in there for. I love this stuff.
First of all, anything we can do to improve memory is always great, but we have a prejudice against memory. So if I'm somebody in my age, I'm an older person, we say, oh, I forgot it. People say, oh, you're forgetting things because you're older. But if you're a teenager and you forget something, what do they say? Oh, you're not paying attention.
Well, I do it all the time, Zorba.
Yeah,
I'll walk in a room and say, what was I doing here?
Yeah,
and I'm in my 40s.
Yeah, but you never think you have dementia.
No.
You just go, why don't I remember?
Yeah, what
happened? But if you're in your 70s, people begin to think, oh my God, I'm developing dementia. Well, the biggest stimulant that we use in the world today to remember things is coffee.
Oh, yeah.
Coffee.
Love it.
Yeah, right. I mean, caffeine, that's what we do. And that is the worldwide most common thing you do. In this particular case, she found a different remedy that really helps. Now, does it help? Well, there are a lot of folk remedies. We don't understand why it works. So if she came into the office and she said to me, I'm taking this and I wonder if it's working, but now I've discovered that when I go down to the basement or in another room, I can remember things. That's really where the art of medicine comes in. Just because it's not proven scientifically doesn't mean that it's not working. It just means it's not proven. So for her, it works. And my answer is folk remedies, many of them work. Try them. It's always no harm, no foul. And I think in her case, this was something that was good for her.
Now, have you had mushroom coffee before
Not
that she's
at all,
talking
but
about?
I love mushrooms. Do you like mushrooms?
I love mushrooms too, and I love coffee. So why wouldn't I love mushroom coffee?
And that's exactly it. Well, maybe what I have to see is if I have mushroom pizza, will that improve my memory? That's the real question. Or if I have mushrooms in my eggs, will that improve my memory? Or if I just take shiitakes and I simply put them in the stove with some butter and olive oil, will that improve my memory? And you know what? I'll get back to you on that, Karl.
What's the old phrase? Don't take shiitakes from anyone? Isn't that how it goes? I think I got it wrong. I don't know. All right, Zorba, let's get to our healthy living topic. Seasonal Affective Disorder, SAD.
Yes, right. So do you get any seasonal affective disorder this time of year?
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little bit. Not
There's
very
just
much.
less sunlight.
Yes. But for me, I first remember this actually when I was a child in elementary school. I remember seeing it's getting darker. I feel like things are all, imposed over me. And I don't like the darkness. Now, I don't mind cold weather. I live in Wisconsin. I like cold weather. I do cold weather things, but I don't like the darkness. And I always feel around Halloween, when the clocks change, I always feel like I'm going through a tunnel and I kind of have to hold on. Mm-hmm. And I remember talking to my wife, Penny, and I said, it really bothers me. And she said, what? said, what? I
What
said,
now?
lack of sunlight. She said, what are you talking about? I hate the cold weather, but I don't mind the sunlight. She was never bothered as much. So for years, I made an SA, Seasonal Affective Disorder light.
Sure, I've
with
seen them.
fluorescent. I made it with fluorescent
Is
lights.
it a big one? Like a
big
big
one,
construction?
fluorescent lights cost about, in today's dollars, it probably cost more than $100 to actually make. Then you could buy really expensive ones that were hot. They were hot incandescent type bulbs. They would cost, like, in today's dollars, $500 to $600. You can buy an SAD light online today for $29.95. I'm not selling them. I don't make any money on them.
No.
But they have to say 10,000 lux.
Okay.
Do you know what lux is?
It's a measurement of light, like luminosity, right?
You got it.
Yes.
10,000.
Yes.
You know something? You got it on the test. So you get 100% today. You get a star, Carl.
Thank you.
Actually, I'll give you a little star, maybe a little sticker on your shirt.
I'll
right
take
now.
a sticker.
That's it, a sticker. But anyway, it has to say 10,000 lux. And what you do is you buy these things. You hold it about an arm length away from you. You don't have to stare directly at it. You can look at a computer. You can look at a screen. It can be at a 45-degree angle, even a 90-degree angle, but 45 degrees is about right. Most of them have timers, 15 minutes or 30 minutes in the morning. It will wake you up. If you take it at night, it will keep you up.
Okay.
Don't use it at night.
Okay.
Use it when you think you should use it. Now, let me tell you, for some people who have serious SAD, more serious, the best time to start it is around the beginning of the equinox. But for many people, it's around the time of Halloween that they're bothered. And that you keep it on as long as you need to. Now, for me, believe it or not, it's around the 10th of January.
You got it nailed down, right? Then.
Well, it's around the 10th. And you want to know why?
Why?
Thanks for asking. Thanks for asking. And it's because I can tell the difference in dusk when the sun is going down around the 10th of January. Because even though the days start to get longer around the 20th, right around the equinox, it's not until the 10th that you begin to see the dusk lasting a couple of minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. And for whatever reason, that longer time with dusk just all of a sudden makes me feel better. And all of a sudden, I don't have to use the light nearly as often.
Interesting.
Anyone with SAD, anyone who thinks they have SAD should consider a light. And if you have serious SAD, consider an antidepressant. They're very effective. I have a number of people in my practice over the years that started an antidepressant around mid-October, mid-November. They continue it somewhere around mid-January, mid-February. They find they're bothered in the winter. They're not bothered in the summer. Seasonal affective disorder is real and is treatable.
Okay, Zorba. Throughout the history of medicine, we've seen countless contraptions and elixirs claiming to cure ailments and professing miraculous health benefits.
You've got it.
We still do.
You've got it. That's right. We still do. Believe me.
So let's
Quackery has no bounds. That's right.
Let's wade into the murky past of medical quackery in the segment we call Quack Tales.
Quack Tales. Ooh. I love it. I love it. I love it. So this one, Carl, I'm going to start with the bottom line. And you know what I'm going to tell you?
What?
Don't use strychnine to improve your performance if you're a marathon runner. So
Okay, yeah.
This is a particular American runner, Thomas Hicks, 1904.
This is the Olympics of 1904,
That's
St.
right,
Louis.
That's
Okay.
right, that's right.
And this is the marathon.
That's right, the marathon. And at the express orders of the Olympic field director, who believed that dehydration was beneficial for athletes. Can you believe it? So in the whole marathon, there was one water station set up at the 12-mile point. He thought, it's really good. I mean, come on, dehydrate and you'll be able to run
Who needs
longer.
water?
Can you imagine that? Who needs water? That's right. I mean, you can imagine how many there are now. So Thomas Hicks, one of the runners, had a 2-man support crew. He was begging for a drink while he was running. Instead, they sponged out his mouth with warm distilled water. Okay,
Just a
sponge
little
it out.
mouth sponging going on.
Sponge it out. At the 7-mile mark, they gave him a concoction of strychnine and egg whites, which were
classic.
thought
That's a classic combo right there.
classic, to improve it. I mean, the rat poison will actually improve things. And basically, he was running on, he just had a lot of trouble. He eventually began hallucinating.
Of course.
And I mean, if you ever
Got rat
taken
poison.
strychnine,
I've never had rat
well, let me
poison.
tell you. I mean, come on. When I was in college, I mean, come on.
You tried it all.
I smoked. I tried it all, but I tried a lot, but I did not try strychnine. That was not it. I mean, he managed to finish there, but the guy who won it The first athlete to actually won was a guy named Fred Lorenz, and the way he ran it was he hailed a car halfway through,
and
they took him like 10
was
miles.
Was he disqualified eventually?
He was not disqualified because no one noticed that he had the car because there was the social media in 1904 is really different than the social media today. So remember, the bottom line here is don't poison yourself with strychnine. Poison the rats.
All right. If you have a question for us, you can call the show anytime. 608-492-9292.
We are there 24/7. We're just 24/7. That's right.
We have a huge team.
And if you believe that, we've got other things to tell you too. And remember, go to our website, drzorba.org. And of course, we're on Facebook.
That's right. And this is, let's do a listener email. The following question came from Pat, who writes, Dr. Zorba, I have a friend that argues that vaccines are not safe. She says that none of the current vaccines were tested using double-blind tests and thinks they are only for lining the pockets of big pharma. I believe in vaccines through blind faith, and I've heard you support their benefits in the past. Would you shed some light on this for me? I'd love to be able to counter some of her anti-vaccine points.
Well, first of all, come on. Smallpox killed 100 million people during the last century. We don't have smallpox anymore because everyone got vaccinated and it's not around. Mm-hmm. And we look at meningitis. You've heard of meningitis. We don't see meningitis like I used to see when I started practice because we've got the Haemophilus influenza B vaccine, which actually has nothing to do with flu, but it's gotten rid of almost all the meningitis. And then we have meningococcal vaccine for people going to college or in the barracks because that kills people. Vaccines save lives, and there are a lot of anti-vaxxers, but there are a lot of people who are just vaccine hesitant. They want some information. So one of the things out there whirled around in the internet is that doctors make money on vaccines. So first of all, where does it come from when actually there's a payment for vaccine? Well, first of all, when you walk into an office, you have an office. You got to pay for the office. I'm a doctor. You got to pay for the electricity and the heat and the receptionist and the furniture, and you got to pay somebody to bring the person back. That's really part of it. Then when you get an immunization, somebody's got to be trained. You don't want somebody just give you a shot. Hey, Karl, I'll give you a shot. Would you want that?
Probably not.
No, of course not. You want somebody who's trained.
Right.
Then you've got to write down what's called the NDC, the number on the vaccine. Why? Because there's a problem with the vaccine. Every manufacturing area could have problems. You've got to keep track of that vaccine. So you got to write it down. You've got to put it in the electronic medical record. In Wisconsin and other states, you've got to put it in the state record. Somebody has to know what they're doing. They have to draw up the vaccine. They've got to make sure it's perfect. They have to bring you in the room. They have to prep you if you're hesitant or you have a child. They have to take some time. And training takes capital. You've got to pay for that. All of that goes into actually the cost of a vaccine. Now, are vaccines expensive? Some of them are cheap. Some of them are expensive. Why are they expensive? Because you want to make sure they're safe. You cannot do a double-blind study now about vaccines because that would be morally incorrect. In other words, let's say I've got a vaccine for hepatitis A. Okay, so I have a lot of people go out and I'm going to give you a fake vaccine and see whether or not you get Hep A. You can't do that. So you've got to realize vaccines have saved more lives than anything else in the history of humanity. And the backlash against vaccines is because people don't really understand what they are. I mean, when I was a kid, back in the 50s, I knew a few people who had polio. I had one kid down the street, Gilbert. I remember that's what he died of polio. We don't see deaths from polio now. Why? Because we have vaccines. So learn it, get the information, and make the decision. And remember, the best person to give you good information is your healthcare provider.
Have a healthy living question for Zorba? You can just post it on our Facebook page or call the show anytime.
At 608-492-9292. That's 608, hard number to remember, right? 492-9292-9292.
Just keep dialing 9292. All right, Zorba, I've known you for a while, and from that, I do know you love to cook, you love to entertain people, and I understand you have a tip for us.
I've got a tip. Every single podcast, I've got a tip. Here's the tip, Karl. If you want to make an entertainment electric. Let's say you're going to have a big party. You've had big parties, right?
It's been a while, but yes.
The best way to really make it electric is to make sure you invite two people who don't like each other to the party and don't tell them the other person is coming. And I promise you that party will be electric, especially if you're turning red, Karl.
Well, did you do this?
If everyone you bet, if everyone in the place knows that the two people do not get along with each other. Years ago, my wife Penny had a 50th birthday party for me. I'm 78 now, so obviously do the math. That was 28 years ago. And she invited one of my best friends and his ex-wife to the party and sat them at the same table.
On purpose.
And let me tell you, on purpose, it was electric. That is my tip for the day.
Well, folks, thanks for listening. That's it for today. We learned a lot today, Zorba. What did we learn?
Mushroom coffee.
Yeah, you helped out a caller about mushroom coffee.
It might be good for you. Seasonal Affective Disorder. We talked about it. What to do about it. Quackery. Don't take strychnine. Even if somebody says take strychnine, and make sure you drink a lot of water. Yeah. And then, of course, entertainment tip.
That was quite a tip.
It was really quite
Put two people in the room.
That's right. I mean, it was quite a tip. And then, of course, we talked about vaccines.
That's right. So thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for listening. Remember, we're at 608-492-9292, drzorba.org, and don't forget to stay well.